All right. Oh, I gotta. Clearly, I am a really good professional at this. All right. So they rolled off to see. So the main objective was pre-selected, and then they rolled off to see one person gets to choose board edge, and the other person chose the secondary objective. So their secondary. Their secondary objective is. I gotta love it when stuff doesn't work, even though you set it to work. Their secondary objective is marked targets. I'm gonna warn the streamers. I apologize in advance, but the Wi-Fi is being very temperamental here in the hall today, so it is quite possible that we might accidentally drop out. Actually, we already did drop out right before the game started, and so hopefully, if that happens, we will work to get it back as quickly as possible. Um, so we got 5 people watching right now. 15, I think. So it is going to be a bit. It is going to be a challenge to be able to get through a lot of the game, even though it's a 3-hour round timer. It is going to be a bit of a challenge to get through a game of doubles in 3 hours. So they'll have to play fast, which is always a challenge because then you're in doubles and you don't want to play fast. You want to hang out and chat because that's really fun. That's how a game of doubles can last all day when you're at home. But we're on a time schedule here, so as a reminder, what they are running is close the pocket, which looks a bit like that. So they will be deploying in the corners and then they will be. Um, so the 3 objective points, one on either side, and then one smack in the center. The one in the center is worth 2 victory points. So, yeah, and we got Noah coming by. Oh, now it should.
Okay.
All right,
Hey
start.
everybody.
Okay, yeah, so we have the mastermind of the Chaos Doubles event happening here. So, uh, 2 people per team, crazy chaosness happening, and with random generated seeds.
Yeah. So, Chaos Doubles. We've done Chaos a lot before
Mhm.
in general because Stephen Cobb over here, Space Viking, the TO for the main event here at RMO. He designed a couple years ago now, I think, a Legion randomizer that randomizes a number of points. Usually for standard list, it's about 400 to 500, but basically throws out a random seed to start a list with, and then you build around that. So you are told you got to use these units. It's super fun. It adds a whole lot of things. I know there's, for example, there's 2 Padmes, which I don't think anyone would select on their own, given the choice right now. But I decided I really wanted to. I love doubles. I love the format. I love the teamwork that it brings in. And so I decided I wanted to kind of take that concept and roll it in a double. So we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah. So one thing with the randomizer, I was wondering, was each player rolled a random seed, and then they kind of had to fill that in, or was them as a group rolled a random seed that they started from?
So how this is it's 2 600-point lists put together, and each of those is a separate random seed. So it creates an extra level of randomness because you could, even if you get one list, because the randomizer might give you something that's very competitive, that has a lot, very meta, but then there's a chance that your teammate gets something that's going to be a little bit off the beaten path.
Mm-hmm. So how many times did you have to re-roll and finagle stuff to make sure that there weren't overlapping unique units?
Plenty. Not only that, but everybody gets a free re-roll because we definitely want people to feel like they at least can say something. It's essentially mulligan, and then obviously if you don't have the unit, if you don't want to proxy it, then you can re-roll that as well. So there are a lot of re-rolls happening just because when you tell people, hey, this is what you have to play, you have to run into what do they actually own and have available to them.
So we might see some proxies on stream. I don't know if they've got any on the table, but we're pretty lenient with proxies just because, well, it's chaos.
Agreed. Yeah, I approved a few. I don't think that particular team has any for theirs or either of those teams, but I know a couple of others around here are proxies. They're pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're pretty lenient.
So it looks like what they're doing now is putting down the markers for the hazardous environments. So I was going down, yeah.
Yeah, putting advantage tokens down. So that is going to be their. You really want to, for most things, they want to congregate, and this one they have is flying base, which if I remember correctly, that's primarily got a lot of beneficial things if you're near a POI. I actually have another one. Let me go grab that card. I have a physical one.
Sure. Yeah, and he's talking about the card, the actual danger hazardous environments is a thing from AMG, but is not one that gets used a whole lot. So there. Oh, and also we can see this very, very nice table. Lots of different interesting bits of terrain, crazy height differences, which I think the geos are going to have fun with. It has actually been built by local player Myron, who is actually raffling off the table, and with the proceeds going to the Wounded Warrior Project. So that's pretty awesome. I don't know if I guess we could ask him if if you're a local and you're not able to make it, but you still want to get thrown in for that raffle, I'm sure we can figure something out. It's just if you're far away, probably can't ship the table if you win.
Yeah, a little challenging. Yeah, I can't confirm this is flying base for dangerous environments. This is a pretty advantageous one. So the idea is that basically you're flying around. It's basically the three options are in the clouds, transit system, and buckle up. So the idea is you're using the transport around this flying base. So with the city kind of aesthetic that this wonderful table has, I thought that was a pretty good. I tried to match these up to like the yeah, here you go. Sorry. I tried to match these up to the look and feel of the table. So like we have a Hoth table over here that's off to our left that has the severe weather dangerous environment. So yeah, a couple of Tatooine desert ones that have fearsome fauna. So it's a lot of fun. I find that these are a really fun substitution for advantage for sure.
And uh, these things are randomly rolled at the beginning of each round, and that determines what the advantage token does that round.
Yep. I honestly think this is one of the most fun things AMG has put out there. I really was excited when these came out. It looks like we have command cards coming out here. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was a divulge.
Ah.
So I believe I saw Padme divulge, and that was a double divulge. Yep. So appears the Republic player divulge diplomatic cover.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna step away for a second and
right.
turn it back over to Xander. A couple judge calls.
Yeah. Because this is kind of a new format. It'll be a fair amount of judge calls. Yeah. Sorry. Throwing that on the dice cam there. That's a little bit. It gets weird when you're trying to chroma key out the table, and then so that's why the image looks all weird. Hooray, chroma keys! But yeah. And so we do have a divulge of Padme's diplomatic cover and the super tech. We're rolling it for that. It is the in the clouds for this round. So for this round, if you are not within range 1 of an advantage token, then basically everything is sort of like clouds descend over everything. If you are outside range 1 of an advantage token, anything that you are shooting at will improve its cover by 1, but you also get cover by 1. So basically there's like smoke grenades everywhere except on the except right around the advantage points. So So we are going to be moving into turn 1 anytime now. Or was that? So yeah, the crazy thing about doubles always, of course, is that there's multiple command cards every time. And so the way multiple command cards works in doubles is everybody plays their command cards, and then you add up the total number of pips to see which side goes first. So if you play a 3-pip and the other and your partner plays 1-pip, then you're still tied if the other players both play 2 pips. All right, we are moving on to at last assault. We do what we do, and diplomatic cover. Those are the okay. We got so. It looks like Thomas and Isaac are going to be going first this round, and we are moving into turn one. So that means that that's it's interesting. Turn one, we do what we do on that bad batch makes them they're going to be fast, but I don't know how. I don't know if they're going to be able to make great use of that card in turn one, but we'll see what they're going on. We'll see what they got up their sleeve. Now, since this is Republic Bad Batch, they do definitely have more long-range threat than otherwise. So we'll get rid of those. And so yeah, we have that diplomatic cover. Gain secret mission. Padme obviously gains secret mission. Infiltrate. Now, of course, in the new Legion 2.6, secret mission is a lot harder to get done because we got some because the way they have to score secret mission now is you have to start the round in enemy deployment and be alive by the end of the round. So you don't just have to get to the deployment zone, you have to start a round in their deployment zone. And with we're now being only 5 rounds, that ends up being quite a lot harder. So it looks like we are deploying. Let's see if I can get a good view of that. Let's hide the scoreboard. So we are deploying some bugs up underneath that landing pad. Thomas brought a lot of bugs. And remember, at this round, basically, everyone who, unless you are both attacking from, unless the attacker and the defender are both within range 1 of an objective token or one of those advantage tokens at the moment, then all the ranged attacks are going to improve the cover by 1. So lots of, probably not getting any open shots this round. Of course, it's hard to get open shots in Legion these days anyway. All right. Noah is back. How was the judge calls?
Good. It was standard stuff. I figured there would be some. There's a lot of questions, obviously, about how do orders work, pass tokens. Yeah. But I think everyone's kind of on the up and up. We fortunately have a couple of people who are playing that help me test it out, so they've got a pretty good idea of how it goes. So
Yeah.
is that the a combination of the divulge and the orders played? Oh, I see. I see what we're doing
Yeah.
here.
So they both divulged. Padme divulged and the Super Attack divulged. But then Padme's divulge means that you have to play it first round.
Nice.
Oh, and now Nano's getting called in for more. Uh, sure, I'd take something. Sure, I'd take something. I don't know what. Sure. I don't know. I guess I usually go for like stouts. I don't know. Sure. I'm not picky. Yeah, thank you.
Joe, unless you got like a margarita in a can.
A what? Margarita in a can? Yeah, like a Cayman?
Yeah, I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, the Cayman. The Cayman Jacks. Those are good.
Joe's being awesome, coming by the table and being a bad influence on us by taking drink orders. Okay, apologize. It's gonna go weird for a second, then I'll fix it. Ah, okay. Yes, this is how I'm doing the. This is a very fancy method of being able to draw on the screen. Is just having a little paint window. So we got some clones moving up, Alright, some bugs moving up here. Remember, this is close the pocket, so this center point is worth more. We got a point here, and a point hiding back behind that thing over there. So to give you an answer, I'll give you a quick count of who's doing chaos. We've got, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games going, and since that's 4 players per game, we're looking at about 20 players who are doing chaos. So I think mostly as far as who's sticking with the Swiss pairing, I think it's mainly just the 4 undefeated. So yeah, we got 20 players running chaos at the moment. So we're deploying some bugs, watching some bugs deploy, watching some clones deploy, and we got some B1s coming on the field as well. So that's okay. B1s and bugs. That's just got to be the nightmare fuel of assembly and storage and spindly little things that are going to snap off at all times.
Oh god, yeah. I 3D printed Geonosians. I know I won't be taking them to like big tournaments. I just play them locally and stuff. But I finished them out. But I was like, I don't want to deal with the assembly of the main
Yeah.
ones. Although I have to say, releasing a super squad of Geonosians for $50, that's tempting. That price is tempting.
Yeah. I will say the Geonosians look like something I absolutely want to play. I just don't want to buy them and assemble them.
Yeah, agreed.
I'd be fine painting them. I'll paint them, but
Agreed.
I'm a cheapskate, so I don't want to buy things. Drew is over there playing Chaos Doubles. I gotta go see, is he playing more Geonosians?
Drew is really the champion of Geonosians. I believe he was first or second in the number of points killed at LVO this year, primarily because Geonosians just, their damage output
I'm looking at
potential is
Drew's
so
Chaos Doubles tournament, and there's not a Geonosian in sight. It's all, well, mainly Dooku and Asajj. That's mainly what it is. When you're building 600 points, that's, and then there are a lot of B1s and some Aqua Droids.
It's entirely possible I was accidentally talking over you. My bad. I forgot you had the headset.
Oh no, I wasn't talking while I was over there. I don't talk about people's tables next to the tables. That's just rude. Of course, my tournament experience growing up is from chess tournaments, and there you don't say a word. You don't make facial expression. You just.
It gets intense.
Yeah. If you're watching a chess game at a tournament, yeah. Like, facial expressions can get you kicked out. So that's so they have run through their extra time, and now they're just at the 2.5 hour mark. So it's now just a normal length of a tournament game, which is so right now it looks like we're just sort of seeing a lot of the things just walking onto the field and not a lot of fire happening. This is a fairly dense table with a fair amount of stuff to hide behind, so.
will be happening. I think they'll start kicking that off. They're supposed to roll pairings any moment now and start kicking that off. I'll let you know how that's going, or I mean, if you want to follow on Longshanks too. Moving up, getting aggressive, hiding behind a building.
That's one of the beauties of doubles is when you have so many units on the field, the clashes in the middle can be very spectacular, and they can swing one way or the other pretty quick.
And with close the pocket happening, we're going to see some of that happening pretty quick once round 2 starts. There will be blood.
Lots of it. Now, remind me, I think they uploaded their list. Let me double check.
And I just noticed that my headset turned itself off again, so my apologies for that. I need to. I think I know how to make that not happen. Yeah, the fun thing about the headset I'm using is it decides to turn itself off because it's not playing anything, but I'm still using the microphone, so it's a little annoying. So maybe if I just add some music in the background that only my headset can hear, that might fix it.
So I believe there was a question about how many activations. Did you answer that one, or?
I did not.
Cool. While Xander's doing some looking there. So the Separatist list, I'll go over the lists here. The Separatist list over there, one of the lists is Kraken, Maul with Burst of Speed, which is a very interesting take on Maul. Very interesting take, just Burst of Speed. It's very, discount. I kind of like it. You have 2 B1 battle droids, super squads with B1 radiation cannon B1s, and then you have 2 Dioxis Vibrasword BX commandos. So this particular list is 6 activations. And then the other list on the Separatist side on stream is lots of Geonosians, as we mentioned. So you got Poggle with aggressive tactics, improvised orders, grappling hooks. Grappling hooks being a wonderful 2 points upgrade, because that's one of the things you throw on there when you only have 2 points. Sun Fac with tenacity and hack comms unit. A B2 super battle droid with a Ha Trooper, and then the super squad upgrade, the double squad upgrade. And then you have a 2 Geonosian warrior squadrons. One of them has the double upgrade, and then you have an Aquas with a heavy. So that there is another 6. So that's 12 activations on the Separatist side. And the Republic side, one list is sporting a Clone Commander, Rex, the Bad Batch, Clone Trooper Infantry with Z6, and a double squad of Clone Trooper Infantry, the standard 5 shotgun squad with offensive push and targeting scope. Now that is a scary unit. So that is 5 activations. And the other Republic list is sporting Obi-Wan with Force Barrier, aggressive tactics to enter the fray, Padme, which I find is wonderful. It's the kind of thing that you get here with Chaos, is you get some units that you might not play otherwise.
Why did they take Exemplar away from her?
I mean,
I
it was
mean,
overall. I mean,
It's very good that they gave it to other
Mhm.
factions, but then they took it away from her, and that's just sad.
I imagine the design philosophy. And sorry, to finish answering your question, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're looking at 12 activations on the separate side, 11 activations on the Republic side. But yeah, on Exemplar, I think the philosophy was likely clone sharing plus Exemplar is too much for the faction, which I respect. I think Padme might need more defensive tech, she needs something else. Because between Exemplar being removed and then Secret Mission being just so much
Bad.
harder to score, and yeah, so
My
less
poor
impactful to the game.
R2D2. I can't take him anywhere now. He has to stay at home.
You really, really need something. Padme needs something.
Yeah.
She needs a change.
Yeah. Yeah, two things with Secret Mission. One, general scores being higher, and two, it just being harder to score really makes Secret Mission it makes sense. Bounty got easier to claim, which makes sense given that scores are higher. So it seems odd that they also made Secret Mission harder to claim at the same time when it's actually less impactful on a game. Because, yeah, when games often were like 1-1, oh, plus the Secret Mission, now it's 2-1, that's pretty impactful. But when most games go to 12, you're like, well, 1 point isn't nearly as much. Sorry, I got a technology. Did something not? It's That's it. Oh, sorry. Technological difficulties. A bit of a tech weird thing happening on the streaming board. They're testing out. We're using a digital scoreboard. Actually, you can't see it there, but and apparently the tablet running that decided to shut itself off, even though it was explicitly told not to shut off. Bad tablet. So we got some geos jumping onto the top of that really tall tower. Geos love that tower, and cool thing, of course, is Aqua droids are kind of hanging out here, making a wall here for the Geonosians, for the B1s that are hiding back here. That did not work. That worked. Yeah. It's hard to see those aqua droids kind of hanging out under there, but that's where those aqua droids are. I was looking how it's pretty fun that those aqua droids are kind of creating a wall there for the B1s to hide behind.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's what Aquas do. You know, they're pretty strong at shooting. They're relatively survivable with how many wounds they have in that armor too. But the biggest thing they do is create those mobile walls.
Mm-hmm. And then the Geonosians hopping up on top of that tower, they're going to have a lot of fun down there because they can really support the center. Anybody trying to contest that center is going to be in firing range of death from above Geos.
Yeah, Geonosians love this map.
So we're bringing in some. They're getting some guys up on that elevated terrain as well. With
I love the use of elevated terrain here. Taking advantage of trying to get around cover, trying to get around firing lanes. Like this map is really conducive to it, and I love what the players are doing here.
yeah. Checking out to where we can get some firing lanes down onto those B1s. Just hearing that the clock has started for the main tournament. Was that?
Yep, that was the clock for main.
All right. So I'm just gonna, yeah. So we're looking at just an update, looking at the rounds of, so it looks like we've got 10 people who decided to stick with the main Swiss tournament. So we got 10 players in the Swiss tournament and 20 players in Chaos Doubles.
Yeah, which I think is a really good split. That's usually what happens. RM every year has the main event and then the side event. And so usually you'll have the top 8 to 12 or so stick for the main event, and then the rest of the people go to the side event. So this is pretty standard for an RMO.
So did the schedule sort of the win loss for the seems to have gotten sort of cleared, so it looks like everybody is basically starting a new tournament today. They're using some of those clear white dice. Yeah, those are just not going to show up. The clear white dice are just vanishing. So that is... Cody is rolling, looks like making some attacks into those B1s. So, a couple saves there, which, hey, they're white dice. Any save is a good save. Oh, I can believe that was cover roll. So that was the cover roll, so they've got 6 going through cover. And now we have the actual, and if these are B1s that they're shooting at, then that's just the one save. So, and there's a lot of B1s going down. So, a nice first attack, wiping out a lot of B1s. I'm just going to be right back. We got some B1 carnage happening, and by that I mean a lot of B1s died.
You made any social media posts? Have you made any social media posts?
I made some Discord posts, yeah.
Cool. I'll repost it for you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't like Facebook.
No one likes Facebook.
It's just what you use to scream at people.
No one's on Facebook because they want to be on Facebook.
So, in answer to the... let's see. So, Chaos teams paired before they make their lists. Yes. So it's I'm right. It's like we're a team and we need a Chaos list.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, characters are considered unique. So essentially, list building rules, you are building 2 separate lists on a team. However, the unique rules work across a whole team as they would in one list. So to answer your specific situation, you would not be able to use Echo across the team because Echo is, he's a unique character. It's the same thing as if you were trying to use, Luke Commander on one side and Operative Luke on the other side. It just doesn't, it wouldn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're not using the world between worlds here. You can't talk to other versions of yourself and team up with them.
Mm. Are those some Let's see, trying to see who exactly is the got running up there. Yeah, so it looks like that rightmost platform is just a height 1, or just the extreme edge of height 1, or is that a height 2? It looks kind of like a height 2 from my perspective.
Yeah, it looks pretty tall. They do have a few units up there. Are those arcs though? Because if those are arcs, they've got I believe they have scale, correct? Which means they
That's
can
how
get up there.
that's how they got up there easily. I'm wondering how. It looks like we got a B1 squad climbing up there, and that's what I'm wondering about, how they're getting up there.
Well, it must be height 1 then.
Uh-huh.
I haven't measured that specific platform myself, but if a B1's getting up there, the players over there are pretty knowledgeable. They played the game for quite a while, so I imagine they know the rules for that.
And I'm just eyeballing it from here, and it looks right at the edge. I don't know. Ah, that is a good B1 roll. That is an incredibly good B1 attack roll.
Facebook was like, look at this Tony post and this young Tony now.
Aww. We can just share that on stream. So that is an amazing B1 roll.
I can't go shake him right now, but I really want to. How old is that? I don't know. She's 10 years old. He's still only going to be in that team. Oh, yeah, obviously. Tony's the old man of the group.
All right.
Slightly below average roll, but I wouldn't complain too much about that.
But, well, what I would complain about was that amazing B1 roll.
Yeah, that is
You
fair.
weren't looking at that.
That's not the roll you want to see after a
Right.
B1 spikes their dice.
It sure doesn't seem right that dice are rolling like 6 out of 8 on the paint.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
Oh, so was that Bad Batch that moved up there?
I think it might have been. Oh,
Yeah, that's how they got up there, because that's their we do what we do turn, so they were able to.
gotcha. So that was a Bad Batch defense roll?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So they use the surge, but still looks like they took enough that it looks like they took someone down and a wound on someone else, which.
I feel like, Xander, I feel like Bad Batch being on stream might be a bad luck charm for them, because that's the second time we're starting to see Bad Batch have bad dice rolls.
But they're so much fun.
They are.
You gotta-
They're fantastic. And this is Republic Bad Batch, which I personally believe is superior in most aspects to Rebel Bad Batch.
Well, you see, the fun of the Rebel Bad Batch, is you get to have red saves in your Rebel army, and you're like, hooray!
It's lovely. Hey, just like now you can run entire red save CIS armies with
Yeah.
no white saves at all.
Well, you can't. I don't think you can. You can't run all red save rebels yet, because you still got to go as white save cores.
Not yet. Give me Rebel Drop Troopers with those red saves.
The problem with Rebel Drop Troopers is, like, when you deploy, it's like when you deploy, roll a die. Oh, you rolled a surge? They're just dead. that would be Rebel Drop Troopers.
You're thinking like more like Drop Pod 40k rules there?
Well, even in lore, they barely survive.
That's fair.
Okay, well, I can only think of like one time Rebel Drop Troopers actually show up well, at least in something that I've read, and 1 out of 5 of them survive the actual just getting to the ground part.
It's dangerous. If you're running a galactic insurgency, you don't really have all the money and time to spend on making sure all your drop pods work.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you drop into a place that has AA guns.
Looks like another B1 unit climbing on top of this transport.
There. No, that's a big old
Oh no, that is
big old swarm of clones.
that is the clone side. My apologies. That looks like the appears to be that double stuffed fives unit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Definitely a big unit.
That is
Definitely
a
double
scary
stacked.
unit. I believe they're throwing, when you put fives in the shotgun in there, I believe they're throwing what is that, 16 dice?
Well, looks like Corey is gathering dice.
They might have a shot.
Counting clones and gathering dice. A lot of blinks there. I'm having a little trouble with this dice cam, I'll admit. Getting the dice to show up without the background showing up, it's very, very particular. And now those white defense dice from the special white defense dice are showing up as black almost. So that didn't seem to be as nearly as strong of an attack as they were hoping for. Thank you. I know I didn't say it, but strawberry's awesome. Mm-hmm. We got a maul. Oh, that maul is hopping into Bad Batch. So that maul, so Maul did choose, because that was his, he played at last this turn. And so that is why he's coming on with a wound, because he chose to activate a wound so that he could get another activation to be able to get in and charge. And I'm feeling that Bad Batch might not be very long for this world. Now, Impervious is definitely going to help, but still, they're going to have to roll a fair amount of blocks. Okay, so I don't know how many surge tokens they have. I think they don't really only have one surge token left. So that's going to be... Or do they have surge tokens left? It looks like he just picked up Wrecker. So that they might have the surge tokens to make that just 2 wounds. Or are they setting down? No, they had... So another wound goes through. So yeah, Maul running into the Bad Batch. That's pretty rough on Bad Batch. I love Maul. He's a really fun character, really cool model. I've painted like 3 of them by this point. Um, yeah, sure, he's not like the super strong one, but I love him. Yeah, the Bad Batch is kind of being the sad batch on streams because they're taking a lot of hits. Oh, Steven in chat, giving us our link to Legion Randomizer. Oh, I should also mention, so Corey, one of the players on stream for the Republic side, he has a pretty cool shop. He sorry, I forgot what I was saying. So yeah. So Corey, one of the players on the Republic side there, he has a cool little Etsy page called Shadow Flame Craftwork that you can check out. He's got some cool Legion tokens, Legion range rulers, 3D printing stuff, dice bags. If you're part of the 5280 group, you know he's got 5280 Legion dice bags for sale, and also does a lot of 3D printing stuff. So if you need some minis for 3D printing, that's Shadow Flame Craftwork.
It's awesome stuff. I especially love his. I think he designed those. The half range tools.
Yeah, he's got really cool half-range tools that have each of the the factions little logos on them, and yeah, I'm pretty sure he designed those, and with points of interest, cool designs there too.
The thing I love about the half range rulers, because I've seen designs like that before, but they have the faction symbol in the middle, so you can't lay them flat. In Corey's designs, he pushed it over to the side so you can lay them
Right,
flat.
and it creates a very nice handhold for when you do want to move it down there. So yeah,
really great ergonomically for sure. Great design, love them. Need to get some of my own. Absolutely. Oh, is he sponsored?
So while where you were gone, Maul charged into Bad Batch and killed. I think that was Wrecker that he took down.
That is wild. I love that. I love the chaos of chaos. That's why we do this.
Yeah. And Maul is so much fun because they played his at last took a wound, double moved, charged in, got the attack off.
Love it. Looks like people are looking at command hands, so yep. Looks like we're about to see command cards go down.
All right. So they are giving us some command hands. We get Ambush and Our Fate is in Your Hands, double 1 pips, versus Duel of the Fates and Reflections. We serve our queen. It looks 2 pips.
Ooh, now that is the Poggle Surge Crit 2 pips, so this is about to be very spicy.
Mm-hmm.
So Republic has priority here.
Yep, 3-2.
But that Duel of the Fates is huge from all being in melee with Bad Batch. It is really going to... Because Bad Batch then cannot spend their surges, which means their impervious matters a good bit less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and frankly, with the way they rolled last time, it was really only those surge tokens that kept them from just completely getting annihilated.
We'll have to cross our fingers for Bad Batch.
Yeah, so Maul is definitely doing exactly what he wants to do here. Charge in, get into melee, hold them in melee, and just...
Yeah, this is real peak Maul play.
I love Maul.
He's honestly great. I think he is slept on a little right now in CAS. Obviously, Dooku, because Dooku's got the new card. He has the lion's share of the glory, but Maul is just so versatile.
Mm-hmm.
And I think especially now that Shadow Collective Maul is definitely, in my opinion, he's the less of the two Mauls now after being the best one for a while. I think CIS Maul is definitely the best, but a lot of great tools.
Well, yeah, I love the model. I love the mini. I love the way he plays. He's not like amazing. He's not amazing, but he's solid. And I was saying I've painted like 3 Mauls now, and I'm working on a 4th. So.
Oh wow, awesome.
Well, one of those was a bust that I used for a trophy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's the mix? Are they all one Maul or the other? Or you have a mix of Shadow Collective and Separatist Mauls?
So I've got one Shadow Collective Maul, one Separatist Maul, and I'm working on the Shatterpoint Maul.
Nice.
That's for not because I play Shatterpoint. I'm just working on a diorama that involves the face-off between Maul and Ahsoka.
Oh, beautiful.
In the Mandalorian throne room.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I tell you, say what you will about Shatterpoint in the game, but those models are amazing.
Uh-huh. I've bought several of those models just because they're gorgeous.
The Grievous Shatterpoint model is one of my favorite models I've ever painted.
I missed who exactly is attacking here. But... Was that the Bad Batch punching Maul, it looked like? Yeah.
Seems to be.
I think they forgot the hazardous conditions roll this turn, but...
It happens.
Yeah.
You get 2 and 10 on it.
Or if maybe I just missed it.
It is possible they're also just because I think they're playing at a fairly brisk pace.
Mm-hmm.
We are under 2 hours remaining. We're about an hour and 50 minutes, so.
Yeah. An hour 50 on my timer, but I'm not sure I started my timer at exact same time that you started yours.
I got an hour 52, so I think we started about the right time.
Mm-hmm. So now scoring is live, which here let's see exactly who's all hiding beneath this. So we do got a lot of them hiding beneath that tower that it's hard to see from the overhead cam. But yeah, so it's interesting that we've got 2 very potent units camping, ready to start raining fire on this. The Geonosians are probably moving forward to attack that beef squad of clones.
Got an attack coming in here from the Separatist side.
Oh, and they're using those clear white dice. I told them not to use this. Mm-hmm. That's always the rough part about Geonosians. You roll and you're like, oh wow, that looks really good, and then you realize that a whole bunch of them are surges and they don't matter.
Yep, Geonos is not surging. And those Geonosians are shooting. Ooh.
Do they have there is a surge token I think they can share off of that back team, so... Or did they do... It sure looks like they have their own surge token.
Still, losing 3 models like that, I think you're happy as the Geonosian player with that attack.
Yeah, so it looks like their move, their fire, and then they're going to do their free jump down to contest the center point.
Geonosians are incredible in 2.6 for a number of reasons, but the biggest one being they can get to almost any point
Right.
if they want to.
The movement is amazing,
The movement is quite incredible.
which is why in the third round yesterday, some of those clutch moves of like Chris being able to tie up Geonosians in melee with the arcs meant that they just like it really took away a lot of their movement with the new withdraw rules. Not their entire movement, but it took away enough of their movement that they couldn't support the points of interest that he really needed to support.
Fair.
And that was really a clutch play, denying the Geonosian movement.
Yeah. Although I will say, with withdrawal the way it is, Geonosians lose, I think, effectively all they lose in that situation, right, is one of their speed 2 moves goes down to speed 1.
Right.
Which can
So
be enough, to your
they
point.
don't lose. In this instance, it was just enough. But yeah, they don't lose very much. Don't lose nearly as much as they used to.
Yep. So that's still very significant. So I believe, if I'm correct, old withdrawal.
You couldn't do free actions.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you were a creature trooper.
Yep. So you basically just got the 1. So now
Right.
withdrawal allowing you to do everything. I will also say for anyone on stream, I see a Space Viking posted the link to the Legion randomizer in the chat. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of fun.
It's a great way to just try new things, and that's a wonderful thing.
We run, I believe we now run, because both RMO and Tacticon in August, the main 2 big 5280 tournaments that we run that we really try to get, really try to pitch to the Legion Discord, etc. But both of those have a Sunday side event that is randomizer based in one form or another.
And I think it was actually the randomizers that I got some randomizers started. I was pretty down on Ewoks. And then the randomizer said I had to play Ewoks, so I started playing some Ewoks and realized, wait a minute, these are actually not bad. So then I, for a while, had an era of Bright Tree Village, and it was pretty dominant competitively.
Oh yeah, it's a great way to find units that both play units you don't usually play, and also find units that you might otherwise not find.
Yeah. Although no, sometimes my competitive lists are just copy what Joe's playing, and then
you can't often go wrong.
So does this look like that? Is that this beef squad of clones firing?
That does look like the dice pool for it.
Yep, and he's spending some surge tokens off of them and their friends.
That is a brutal pool, because that also has Pierce 1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the 5 shotgun double squad is a terrifying unit.
So looking like 11 hits, 9 of them it looked like into cover or so. Cover roll. It looks like a little bit of help. Yeah.
I think you're happy with that cover roll. 3's not bad.
Yeah. That is a very good defense roll. That's they assuming are we shooting at Geonosians, so they are going to surge, and so it's going to be a Pierce 1, and they're only going to take 2. That is an incredible cover save, or white save for those Geonosians. Not what you want to see. So the dice, the dice haven't been terribly friendly to the Republic this game. Republic this game. But everything tends to even out in the end, right? If you throw enough dice, it'll even out. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm most of the way through a double-sized extra-strength margarita. And it is 10 in the morning. Gus, what up?
Jump on here. I'm playing so limited, but I'm gonna get in here on the second.
Okay, yeah, if you want to hop on.
I'm gonna get in here.
Okay.
I gotta run one.
Yeah, I'll swap out.
So yeah, the beef clone squad shot into the Geonosians, and the Geonosians had an amazing save, and even with the Pierce, only ended up losing 2 models.
That's incredible.
After that good cover save, they just, that is well, depends. Okay, so I mean, it's probably a Geonosian squad. So
Well, it's got reds in it. I think this
oh
is.
wait, yeah, who is this?
Let me verify.
So, okay, they spend 1 surge to keep the red. So that's a pretty brutal attack. So this is looking at B2s are firing. One of the Beef 2 squads firing. That's a pretty good attack. And so it looks like some decent saves. Oh,
Ooh.
nice saves. Was that a... So they had the surges to spend and don't lose anybody. So good saves is answered by good saves.
Yep. Sometimes that's I can't get too mad. I think when a really good attack roll is answered by a really good defense roll. You know, the dice meet the challenge. So I did hear on one of these tables, someone rolled the Apex Predator dangerous in condition, which is if you're within range 1 of an advantage token, you roll, for every unit you roll defense dice. And for surges and blanks, you take a wound. And Dooku apparently took 3 wounds off of that. That's chaos for you. That's why we run this.
And that's on the desert table, so just like a sandworm just yoinked, just like came up and took a mouthful of...
That's an episode of Clone Wars. That's like an episode Dooku gets wounded, Anakin and Obi-Wan, and he have to team up and help him out. Now that looks like a Geonosian attack to me.
That's looks like Corey Rowland, so...
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so that's a Republic attack. I'm not sure where it's coming from. And the dice seem to be liking Geonosians today.
Yep.
Let's see what they're measuring at, because they've got... Where are those B2s? Where were those B2s hanging out? I missed
They're
the
near
B2s.
the center. They're hiding.
So is it this group right here?
Let me go check.
Yeah. It's sometimes hard to see what units are what on the stream, but those look like B2s.
Yes, so that area you just circled right there that's next to the big tower, that's the B2s, and behind
Right.
them are Aquas.
And then, the Aqua's right here forming that wall. And that's a pretty nice thing about the Aquas these days, right? Because they form an impenetrable wall that you can't shoot through, but you can still walk through it.
Yep.
Um,
It's good for Aquas. I have found that some of the vehicles, like the bus, it kind of reduces their efficacy, which is probably for the best, honestly. The bus being able to block off points and be 65 points itself is always a little wonky.
yeah, but now you can walk through them, and
Exactly.
yeah. There have definitely been some times when it's like, oh yeah, I can just place this bus here, and you have to kill it to be able to score. And I mean, the bus mobile terrain is always really good.
Oh, the bus is still one of the best units you can
Yeah.
take, in my opinion. 65 points for an 8 health. Here's another attack here.
Is that a? That actually kind of looked like a. Did that look like a Maul dice pool?
It did.
So.
Oh.
Very good roll, but if it's the Maul, then they can't use the surge tokens, so that's going to be another.
That appeared to be the
bad
Maul and
batch.
the bad batch, yeah.
So and it's that card, Duel of Fates, that doesn't let them use surge tokens. So those, even though they have a stack of surge tokens, it doesn't matter.
Because if they had not if they had been able to use their surge tokens, I believe with that roll they wouldn't have taken any damage.
Right. But now now that bad batch is down to is that just 2 guys left there?
Let me check.
Yeah, it looks like Yeah. Did you check who Hunter and who else is?
It looked like Hunter and I thought it was Crosshair or Tech. Hang on, let me look closer.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to ask them.
Right. Yeah. We try to be as inobtrusive as possible, but so they Echo. So it is Hunter and Echo who are left there. So that's no more surge tokens for them.
Echo, I believe, is the one that has the surge tokens.
Is it? Well, let's go ahead and look at. Okay, it is.
Which I think in this situation, I agree with their decision to keep Echo, to try to keep the Bad Batch alive as long as possible. I think they've accepted that with the with that Maul hit, Bad Batch is really not going to be that offensive, but to survive as long as possible, to deny victory points and potentially hold Maul down for longer, it's probably a good decision.
Particularly since if you are in melee, then Crosshair isn't doing a lot, Tech isn't doing a lot. Well, I mean, the dodge is always very good against units with that much pierce.
Agreed. Well, honestly, with the 3 surges and impervious, I think that keeping Echo alive in melee with Maul means it's probably a slightly higher chance of surviving another attack, because what they really want to do with Bad Batch, it seems, with that decision is hold Maul down as long as possible, because he does not have force push. So he has to
no
kill
force
them.
Push.
Yeah, just burst on Maul. So he's got to kill them if he wants to.
He does have disengage this round, but he didn't use it, so.
Which I wouldn't. I mean, that lets Bad Batch maybe, if they 1-pip next turn, Bad Batch can potentially get out of there. And Bad Batch's role right now is just hold Maul down as long as possible so he can't get into something else. Because, like, for example, if Maul got into that 5's shotgun squad, he could really clear it out quick.
Right. See Isaac gathering some dice for.
You know, I take it back. I think this is the Maul attack. I think the last attack
Oh,
was
was
the
that?
BXs into that.
Oh, those are BXs up there.
Yes, which
Okay.
still is a problem because Maul's engaged with them. They couldn't spend the tokens on that attack either.
Uh huh. That's a bad red dice roll.
Yep, that is bad. Good for the Republic player.
Uh huh. But now still it's going to be Pierce 2, so they're rolling 2 dice, and so they're going
Ooh,
to take 1.
That is what you want to see.
Yeah, that's if I mean taking 1 wound off of a Maul hit, I think I think you're kind of celebrating.
In the situation you're in, so just to clarify in chat, I did get that incorrect. It was a BX Dioxys squad that hit them, which does mean I believe that triangle token right there is the poison token they took off of that.
Okay, so after their next activation, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose another guy.
They'll lose Echo, yeah, I believe.
Yeah.
They took a wound appears off of that Maul attack, which I think still you're still okay with that. I think.
Yeah. But Impervious, still very good.
Yep. Yeah, especially when you roll like that.
Yeah. Impervious and Pierce create this. I think it creates a very fun dynamic. That like immune Pierce is like, oh, you just don't get to use everything, but Impervious is like, it still matters a lot.
Yeah.
But I get to do something.
I agree on some units. I think there's some units that, just because of their cost and their importance, need Immune Pierce.
Yeah.
For example, Grievous getting Immune Pierce now. I think that was a great decision because of how much he's attacking Jedi and tussling with Jedi.
Yeah. From a game design standpoint, you'd never like to be like, oh, I have a thing where it makes your thing doesn't matter at all. Is a little sad, but yeah, I get, powerful units. You don't want them to be able to. Oh, are they? That's cool. They're looks like they are switching out the tokens based on who's actually in control of something at the moment. Good cover roll. Yeah, those Geonosians on that center there, they are rolling defense well enough that they are going to be hard to displace. I mean, they are getting whittled away. I can't quite tell how many are left. They're whittling them away, but it's a lot. Double stuffed Geonosians, or even singles, it's just a lot of wounds to chew through. So I believe they are running Poggle the Lesser, and one of the great things about Poggle the Lesser is his really high courage, which could come into play here as those Geonosians in the center are getting heavily suppressed, even if they're not getting killed. Right, Poggle is running at 3 courage, so you'd have to get them up to 6 suppression for them not to panic and not score that center. So I think that's going to be pretty big. How's it going? The back of Cody's head there. Now the back of Thomas's head. Checking to see control range, because remember that center point is worth 2 victory points, and we are into round 2, so we are starting to score. Round timer is looking at just under 90 minutes. Geonosians had another pretty decent defense roll to hang on to that center point there. And
They're solid.
yeah, and so they do. The Separatist player does have Poggle the Lesser running around, right? And that's big because that's 3 courage bubble is going to be pretty big.
Where is Poggle?
That is.
I imagine because they did play his 2-pip so that they can get that surge crit. So I imagine he is central. Let me see if I can scope Poggle out.
I imagine he's kind of hanging out behind that. I'm imagining he's somewhere in this mess. To give a nice courage 3 bubble to the center point there, which is going to be why it's going to be so hard to dislodge those Geonosians if you don't kill them.
Poggle is, you can't really see it where they're picking up from. You see there's so you see that small, you can't see it from this angle. So you see that big platform, this is the height 2 one right there. He's right under that corner. He's
So
basically
somewhere in
right
here?
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you flip to the other camera, I think you can barely see him standing there. Yeah, you see the mini right there?
Yeah,
Poggle.
somewhere. Oh, is he up
That's
like
Poggle,
that guy?
that's
Okay,
Poggle.
that guy.
He's
That guy's
very
Poggle.
central. He's giving his courage to everybody. It looks like he's in range.
Okay, so he's elevated. So that's very important. Is the Geonosians here are getting that 3 courage bubble, which is very important.
Huge.
Because if they those central Geonosians, if they were just at 2 courage, then they'd be about to panic. But since it's 3 courage, they're only halfway there.
And honestly, if they spend that many more activations trying to panic those Geonosians,
Yeah.
Even if they do it, I think the Separatist players are
Right.
happy soaking that much fire.
3 courage is very, very good.
It's huge. And especially Poggle's, I think 85 points. So he's much cheaper than the other option.
Yeah, 80 points.
Yep. He is I think he might be the cheapest Courage 3 commander currently in the game.
I think Leia should have had 3 courage.
I agree.
Yeah.
Her not having 3 courage is just, I don't think it's very thematic at all. I think
even if it means that she goes up in points, she needs 3 courage.
I could see Leia at 85. I think 85 is the perfect. If you take her 3 courage, bump her 10 points, because she's like she's definitely more functional than Poggle.
Yeah, in most ways.
She feels more like a Kalani. I think Kalani pricing for her at 3 courage would be good. But yeah, Jyn Urso having more courage than Leia never sat right with me. And if AMG, as rumored, moves Jyn, or I think they said they're moving her to an operative slot, which I think it makes it complicated because Luke then becomes the only Rebel Courage 3 commander.
I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Noah as I take a quick break.
I believe we're starting to wind down turn 2 here. Looks like some line of sight checks to see what they can see here. Attacking to another unit on the center there, it looks like. Suppression. Yeah, this is big. I mean, in 2.6, we all know that if you can get a big early swing into, victory points, then it can be pretty effective. And it's hard to catch up in a lot of ways. And especially with the two secondaries that are available here, they're not really objective. They're objectives that pace one another. They're not objectives that really you can catch up from being behind. Most aren't. I think destroy enemy base and sweep and clear to a lesser extent, but mainly destroy enemy base and bring them to heal are the two objectives. Secondaries where you can come from behind. So because neither of those are on the table here, and we are playing close to pocket, so the middle is more points than the other sides. Whoever gets and owns it starting turn 2 is in a real commanding position for the rest of the game.
Radiation storm.
Radiation storm killed Padme. Oh.
Yeah, it's wild. So we're just hearing a report from one of the other clone versus separatist games that Padme was dropped to 1 wound remaining by General Grievous. And they rolled Radiation Storm, which does wounds depending on the dice that are rolled, and wound up killing Padme, finishing her off. So, chaos. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alright, I'm back. Margarita goes in, Margarita goes out. That's the way of things. So their secondary is marked targets. It's not one of the high-scoring secondaries, since it looks like you can only score 2 points off of it, and I don't see who exactly. I don't have a good view of who's actually marked. See if we can see who's. So this is Geonosian Squad that's hanging out underneath that bunker that he's currently measuring an attack to the clones there. The clones that are trying to contest that center point, that side point, left point. Looks like they're going to hop out to contest. So Geonosian's moving up to contest, and then are they going to take a shot on those other clones? I expect so. It's like he's gathering some attack dice, and they look like Geonosian attack dice. Black and a white from each Geonosian, but without... There's the roll. 2 hits and 2 crits, it looks like. Cover save. Oh, 1 hit goes away off the cover. So that'll be 3 saves, 3 red saves. Actually, looks like they're spending some... You're able to spend some dodges and only take the 1. So it'd be interesting. It looks like Darth Maul is contesting that right point. It'll be interesting to see that exact measurement, because it looks like the Separatists have a nice clinch on that right point. The center point is still kind of up in the air, and that left point is also got a lot of people on it. So hard to say who's going to score at this point. But it sure seems like the Separatist players have more there that can jump on either that center or that right point as needed. It's like Poggle is moving up to the upper level. That's an aggressive Poggle. I believe, if I recall, it was We Serve the Queen from Poggle this turn.
So it seems like most games are in round 2. We have 1 game in round 3. They're playing at a brisk pace.
Mm-hmm. We got about an hour 14 left in this game.
Yep.
So
I think we have plenty of time left. There might be a little bit of a hustle for this game once you kind of hit the end of round 4, but these players are all pretty experienced.
Mm-hmm.
I expect we'll get a full set out of them. Looks like we are approaching the end here.
Yeah, the end of round 2. So we'll actually get some points on the board.
Yep, we're seeing some conversations. I saw some command card shuffling, so
Yeah.
you hit the last couple of activations of a round, and you start thinking about what you want to do next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Separatist players are thinking about what they're putting down.
Yeah.
And I did confirm they did roll the dangerous environment, so they are doing that. I think they're just doing everything quickly. So they've rolled into the clouds twice.
Right. So that just gives pretty much everybody who's not next to one of those advantage points cover. and if you're shooting into or out of a place that's not at range 1 of those advantage points, then it just improves cover by 1. But this is a pretty dense table, so most things have a lot of cover anyway.
Trying to see. I see 2 advantage tokens. I think there's probably another one under the token mess on the platform. Oh, I see 3 of them.
So you've got one here,
Yep.
one here. Where are the others?
There's one on the far left of the screen next to that little.
Yeah, one
Yep.
here.
And I don't. The other one might be under one of these platforms.
I saw them put it down, but I forget where they put it down. Oh, actually, nope, that's a dodge token. Never mind.
So the idea of advantages tends to be, and it does depend on what these, because some of these you don't want to be near them, some of you do, and it just depends on the card you have, but typically, more often than not, it is a benefit to be near these, so you want to set them up to where you can get close to them on your approach if you want, but give you some leeway to not if you need to.
Aqua Droids moving forward.
Great position for the wall.
So it's a move and shoot, sounds like.
Double blank on the red, that is... But overall, not a bad shot.
When the reds fail and the whites show up, it's like, well, I mean, got the hits in, but
even out.
Not the way I expected.
2 hits and 2 crits is nice, though, because it only means it means they're still having to deal with 2 no matter what their cover roll is. Looks like the cover roll here.
No help from cover.
So it looks like, I think that was 1 roll with 3 defense dice, and it looks like they spent a dodge token.
Yeah. So it looks like they took 2 of them.
Yep.
Spend a dodge and take 2.
Anytime you're shooting clones and you see a majority of those dice are blanks, you are feeling good.
Yep. Looks like we got some arcs going on in the background there. Seeing if they can clear that.
Looks like they can.
Question is, can they make it up to contest that side one?
Does not look like it to me.
Yeah, we're just gonna shoot at those Geonosians that are also contesting there.
Well, that looked like a double move to me, so I think
Yeah, right, yeah.
they're just positioning for next
Yeah.
round. Still, I think it's the right move.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't see a lot that the Separatists have to contest that left side. They've got most of their stuff contesting the middle or the right. They're I mean, it's here if it works. Moving some B1s forward. Yeah, those are some B1s. They're looking to move forward to contest that center point. Yeah, with the close the pocket, that center point being worth 2 is quite a lot. Particularly with marked targets being the secondary, and marked targets, you just can't score a whole lot on the marked targets. It's really going to come down to controlling that center point. So with these low saves or poor save, lots of body units, it always comes down to it feels like volume of dice. And as long as they can whittle away at that large squad of B1s, the double stuffed clone trooper squad, I mean, and kind of take away their volume of dice, then I think the Separatist players are going to be in a good position. Um, is that a looks like a BX squad that's moving up onto the top of there to take a shot down onto the clones on that left side? I didn't spot those guys there, but cover roll helps them a little bit. Looks like they looks like they're finishing up round 2, and it looks like damn. I'm gonna have to. I'm having connection issues, so I'm gonna have to go double check their score manually.
Looks like we are winding down, picking up, doing cleanup, moving into round 3. Moving into round 3. Chaos doubles, because you got doubles, you got the chaos stuff. It can take a little bit longer. We have added 30 minutes to the regulation time, but obviously we want everybody to hit 5, but the goal is to play as many rounds as possible. And sometimes, just as in regular standard Legion, you know, some people just, some games go to time. It's just how it happens. So, but yeah, we're going to enter round 3 here in a second. Looks like we are doing some command card selection currently. Xander will be back in a moment with a verification of what the score is. Command cards are going down. We've got Let the Executions Begin from Poggle on the Separatist team. The other one was a Super Tech card. I did not see it. I am going to guess. I need to go verify what the command cards are.
So it looks like the Republic players scored 1 point, and the Separatists were able to secure that center to score 3.
Nice. Did you see what the command cards were? I didn't see all of it on the dice cam.
It was a Call Me Captain, and
I saw Let the Executions Begin. I saw the other one was a Super Tech card. Do you know if it was the 1 or the 2 pip?
I missed that. Sorry.
Okay, I'll go check.
Yeah. So we got Let the Executions Begin. So this is what our score looks like as we're moving into round 3. The Separatist players were able to secure that secondary, the center point and the side point.
I can confirm the commands played were on the Separatist side. It was the Let the Executions Begin, Poggles 1 pip, and do not underestimate our memes. I always say memes. Do not underestimate our memes, the Super Tech 3 pip.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it was Call Me Captain, and then Hello There. So a double 1 pip turn
Hello
for
there.
Republic. Which probably, they do need that priority here. They are behind here, and so they do want to do some early damage this turn to try to adjust the trajectory of this game.
Yeah. So, wait, where is Echo? Because I was confused. It sounded like Echo was on Bad Batch, but so is Echo on Bad Batch or or the double stuff?
Echo is
Echo
on
is on
Bad
Bad
Batch.
Batch.
Fives is on the double stuff.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. I think there was somebody misspoke earlier, and yeah, fives on the double stuff. That makes a lot more sense.
I personally don't think the Strike Team version or the Sniper version of Echo is worth taking. I think
Yep.
he's way too expensive. So that looks like Obi-Wan, if I had to guess.
No, that looks like the beef squad,
Oh, I
the
believe that.
beefy squad of clones, moving into melee with the.
So they measure with a range 3 tool, so it must have been just to do a double move here. Unless I saw that incorrectly. But yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing about the shotgun and fives is their dice pools are exactly the same in melee, and fives gives them charge. Another thing that makes them a very scary unit.
Coming up on 1 hour left in this round. Not a bad roll. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good roll. Most of their hits, aim doesn't help. Aim helps them a little. And it looks like they had the surge to convert that. So 12 hits in melee, going into. I think that's a. Is that a B1 squad? Or I. Oh, so obviously not a B1 squad if they're rolling red dice. So BX squad taking a fair amount of hits. Yeah, fives is a very good upgrade for that double stuffed clone trooper unit. I don't think anybody's complaining about that roll. No help from the aim though. Cover helping out a bit. Spend some dodge tokens. I haven't really looked at the ARF squads much, so I wouldn't be able to say what they've got going on. But yeah, they look interesting, but haven't really investigated them much.
I think it's good. I think it probably needs to come down a few points. I think it's too expensive, honestly.
Mm.
I think that's the main problem. Like, Echo's good. Like, Echo is great. And in an ARF squad at range 4, you're punching, what, 4 black, 2 red? Lethal 1, I think?
I don't know more ARFs much, so I'll just take your word for it.
I believe ARFs, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I believe ARFs are 1 black die at range 1 to 4 natively. Yes, okay, they are. ARFs are. I don't hate ARFs. Like, that's. ARFs. Issue's a strong word. ARFs challenge, in my opinion, is less that they're bad themselves, because they're not. They're a decent unit. It's that they're competing in that slot with ARCs. And ARCs are just, especially for this game, is this game, in my opinion, 2.6, it is hard to have a long-range unit that's. You can't really have a long-range unit that stays at long range
Right.
in a lot of objectives.
And that tactical and that charge just makes arcs really good.
Yep, you can get in on close objectives. You can threaten. I think if we get more objectives, and I'm hoping for that sometime summer or fall, later this year. But if we get new objectives, and if we get some more that are kind of like shifting priorities or recover the research, I think that you can build a deck that ARFs might really like. So that looked like a
Ooh,
B2
double
shot?
blank on the red. Hate to see it. So no, that was a
That was a clone
Republic
sight.
shooting into some B1s. It's hard to see if they're picking up B1s or Geonosians.
I heard Thomas say 6
Yeah, those are
B1s
the
die.
B1s. Yeah, those are the B1s taking it to the face like they should, those dirty B1s. You know, I had my collection of B1s. It was like, all right, I got 6 full units. I don't need any more. And then they pull out this whole, oh, you can double stuff them now. I'm like, oh, come on. You want me to get more B1s? Now.
There's something to be said. That's another 3D printer go burr. There's something to be said about Separatist Invasion with 8 double B1s. I think it's just because Separatist Invasion has always been the list where it's like you can't deal with all my bodies. All right, well now double the size of every one of those squads, and you'd be hard pressed even with cover being what it is to kill all that in time.
Yeah, at that point, it's just like, it doesn't matter your quality of dice. Do you have enough dice?
Yep, exactly. What's your ceiling? Because it might not be high enough.
Oh, yeah, your Hound is going to guarantee you 2 kills, but that's going to take you 18 rounds to chew through all this.
Yeah, if you're doing a Hero Hammer, you are not happy to see that list on the table.
Right. And I love Hero Hammers, so I'm not happy to see that list.
It's very fair. That looks like a Maul dice pool.
So I should switch cameras to see what's happening, because we can't quite see... Yeah, that's Maul into some... Yeah. Is
Looks
that
like it
is
looks
that the
like,
end of Bad Batch? I think that's the end of Bad Batch.
and it sounds like there was a bingo
Oh,
from that.
was that a bingo? Oh, nice. Like they were saying, yeah, it's Sad Batch.
It is Sad Batch. We've
Mm-hmm.
watched Bad Batch be manhandled twice on this stream.
Uh-huh. And it looks like that Maul is trying to get into melee with that big old one. It
I
doesn't quite
think
make
he's
it.
gonna be. I can't tell from this angle though.
Yeah, we got the fisheye thing going on, so if they think that's right, then I'm assuming it's
It looks
right.
like he
But
made it.
yeah, yeah,
Great Maul
'cause-
play. Fantastic Maul play.
yeah, Maul is doing exactly what he wants to do.
Even if Maul doesn't do very much for the end of this, Maul killing Bad Batch is that's punching up. That's a great return on investment.
And I think he took 2 wounds for the opportunity, so he's pretty happy.
Is that including his?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Jeez.
Yeah, I think when Bad Batch punched him back, they were only able to do 1 wound.
That's strong Maul play.
Yeah, love Maul. Maul Bosk, that's one of my favorite pairings, but
Oh yeah.
haven't played him in a while. I should pull that back out.
I think it'd be worthwhile now for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Legion Bingo. Have you mentioned on the stream Legion Bingo?
Yeah, we talked about it a
Cool.
little bit.
So I believe that is our second bingo so far.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think we'll see a lot more bingos
Yep.
today, just because Chaos is letting crazier things happen. And just more games means more bingo.
What's your prediction on how many more bingos we're gonna get?
I feel like, based on what we've seen, I feel like there are going to be fewer bingos than anticipated. But so I think we're going to maybe 5 more.
Okay. I'd say 3 more for a total of 5.
Hmm.
But 5 more would be great. I think we want to be in that 6 to 8 window at least. So that was another attack.
Yeah. So the Separatists definitely have the impetus, have things going in their favor this game. Up on objectives, and now cleared out Bad Batch, got Maul into the center there. So they're feeling pretty good, I think.
Got a snail taking one of the other tables, getting shot.
Mm. Geonosian's moving up onto that center to shoot down on some poor clones.
This table is a dream for Geonosians.
Uh-huh.
This is the table I bet Drew probably would have wanted to be on yesterday
Yeah.
against Chris.
But there aren't many Geonosians left in that squad.
As long as one Geonosian's alive to score, it's enough.
Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a jump up, shoot, and jump back, because that's one of the great things about having a free move. There is just you can do the equivalent of Han's steady shenanigans.
Not a bad shot for 3. I think it's a squad of 3 left.
Yeah.
It's like 3 hits and a crit, and they'll most likely be death from aboving whatever they're shooting.
Or either into that clone squad that doesn't have any cover anyway, or death from above. So probably not any cover that we're looking at.
The multi-dice roll for defense, slightly confusing, but
Yeah.
I believe it was 4, and then I saw 3 defense dice being rolled, so it looks like it was a dodge.
Was one of those? I think one of those attacks was a surge, and Geonosians don't surge. So it might have just been 3. I don't know.
I thought it was 4 aside from that, but you might be right. Either way, I assume it's being played properly.
We can check the recording, and one of us will be wrong for all eternity.
All right. Bet.
Also, the nice thing about bingo with the chaos is you know, it's like, oh, I don't really, you know, it feels like with chaos, there's more freedom to pursue bingo
Yep.
than to just like go for the pure win.
Agreed. And a bingo for your team is a bingo for both of you, or rather a square on the on one of the teams, so it's easier to get them. Yeah, this is where things get very interesting. Your turn 3 on close the pocket, the scrum start, you're on the middle, and now the positioning matters quite a bit.
Looks like they're doing another charge there.
Is that a unit of?
That looks like 4 arcs.
Looks like arcs to me as well.
Charging into those.
Yeah, picking up some aims.
Is that Maul sitting there? Are those arcs charging into Maul?
I believe Maul. Oh yeah.
I mean, it looks like Maul. Right
Maul
here,
did
this
have
looks
two.
like Maul.
That appears to be Maul. I'm gonna go check
Sure.
that scrum, but I think he double moved with Juyu after that attack.
Yeah, one attack and then double move. Yeah. It's not an amazing roll, but they've got the aims to turn it into an amazing roll. Because arcs are good like that. Aim number 1. Looks like they got 3 aims there. Aim number 2 doesn't help them at all. And pick one more up on the.
All right, I did get some intel. I can verify those arcs were charging Maul. It is also transit system, which means that if you're within range 1 of an advantage token, you get jump 2 as a free action. So
Nice.
That's what a lot of stuff is happening here. So people are jumping around because they get a bonus action.
Nice.
So I believe that's how, because you see the 3 M's up there, I believe these arcs were triple aims because they got a free move, which is huge.
And I think, is that a dead Maul?
That, I believe, is a dead Maul.
That looks like a dead Maul. Arc's charge is very potent.
We're going to see what happens here, but I believe that they just...
Looks like they picked up Maul, yeah.
That, I mean, to be honest, I still think as the Separatist player, you're still very happy with what Maul was able to accomplish.
Yeah.
But, incredible hit from the arcs.
Yeah, Maul very well handled that right side of the board for them.
I think the moment Maul takes Bad Batch down, you're happy with if he just go, and he did. He pretty much immediately. So it looks like we're about in the middle of turn 3 here. My bellwethers typically, if you can get to turn 4 by about 20 to 30 minutes remaining and just blitz through turn 4, you'll hit 5. It's a bit of a struggle.
Because Maul without force push is kind of fairly relatively cheap these days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is he, base 130, I think, right now?
Yeah. And Bad Batch is base 160, so.
So this Maul was 140 because he had burst of speed.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're 20 points ahead on that exchange. Not to mention, I do think that Bad Batch is probably more of a threat in general than Maul, just because of all the options they have. Have they played Bad Batch? Are they running Bad Batch's command card?
Yeah, that was a round 1 thing.
Okay,
that's how they got. That's how they got them that far forward to take the shots. But yeah, I feel like Bad Batch didn't quite return as much as they would have hoped.
One of the interesting things with Bingo is some of the stipulations are you leave suppression on a unit or you have certain tokens on a unit. And some players are finding that they're just unfortunately killing enemy units instead of doing the bingo things to them.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of a double-edged sword right there.
Yeah. Looks like Aqua's moved forward a bit and doing something.
Yeah, Aqua's, I think that might have been a double move to get on that middle point. Sometimes that's the right move. I think a lot of 2.6 is knowing when you want to double move and when you want to do other things.
Nope. That was a block and a miss from I missed the roll on the. That's can't complain about
That's
that.
a full block. About 40 minutes left, so I think generally there's a couple of slower tables.
Yeah.
But generally, I think everyone is at least in the middle of round 3, which is probably where they should be at a minimum here.
Yeah. So in this game, Separatists have pulled ahead, but I feel like Republic is doing a good job of moving forward, clearing out a lot of the Geonosians and B1s, and I think they might be able to claim center this turn.
I think getting those arcs into there, because the center... Is it that point right there on the top?
Yeah, so the center is right there.
Okay.
And so it looks like the arcs are probably out.
Which I think is a fair choice. That was a shot.
Picking up those Geonosians.
Yep.
All right, so they just finished off that Geonosian squad, which looks like it transfers control of that center point over to Republic.
I love what they're doing, track and control.
Right.
I think that's really smart.
Yeah.
I wish that was in like the main rules.
That's
it is
nice.
in Shatterpoint. Technically, I believe it is in Shatterpoint. Yeah, it is.
Well, Shatterpoint you score like after every time somebody moves.
Right, so it's a little different. But even at that, I wish we had. I think it would be great to implement that here because it helps you know at a glance what do I need to do.
Right. I think you need to create some point of interest tokens that just have like 2 lights, and then you can like a toggle switch. That'd be great.
You're the crafty one here.
Or a three position switch, like off, blue, and red.
I've seen your table with LEDs. I think you just gave yourself a new project.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Do a Han Solo Carbonite in Carbonite's POI token and have the lights on the side that go on and off, like in Jabba's Palace, depending on who has it. Ooh, yeah. That's going to happen with some of these towers. It's hard not to bump them. shout out to Myron Spelluck. Thank you for this table and the raffle that's going on. This is a great table.
Uh-huh.
He's pointing out the control tower that they just bumped accidentally is actually height 3, which is it's always nice to see a little height 3 terrain on the table,
Yeah.
especially playing Geonosians.
Yeah. Separatists throwing an attack.
That appears to be... I've been wrong so many times. I'm not going to guess what it is.
Oh, we got some red dice in there, so maybe some BXs.
That looks like a Dioxys BX shot. You're right.
Yeah.
I should let you guess what everything is because you've been more correct than I have.
Well, so with Bad Batch going down, and that does look like a poison token coming
That's
out.
a poison token.
Yeah. With Bad Batch going down, it allows those Deoxys to move towards the center as Squad of B1s hold that far right point. And the wound, at least a wound goes through, which is going to do that poison. And that looks like that's onto the arcs.
That's a good round. That's a good shot into the arcs.
Uh-huh.
Or good charge, actually, it looked like. I think still, now, it looks to me that they're out, though, still. So Separatists still need to get more onto that point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well.
Wrong, they were.
Well, the players, it looks like they just switched it to blue. Yeah, it looks like they put a blue marker on this. So as it currently stands, it looks like the Separatist players have claimed both side points, but the Republic has claimed the center point. Which means that at this point it will be a tie, 2-2, which is with the Republic being behind. That's not what they want to see. Ooh. Good defense roll. That's a beautiful defense roll. That was a Separatist looked like onto the Aquas. Possibly a BX. But whatever it is, or... So, probably onto the BX, because that's what they've got on their side. Just rolling red dice. So it looks like they are negotiating, kind of figuring out who's going to be able to get center control, and from who's gone, it looks like Republic is going to be able to retain control of that center point this round.
What do we got? This mic? Mic'd up. What's up, guys?
Yeah, we got Gus here. Yeah, Gus.
Welcome, everybody. Glad you guys can make it to the stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got Republic versus some Separatists.
We got that doubles action. This is what we're all about here in 5280. The good stuff.
Yep. At the moment, so Republic has control of the center point, and Separatists have control of the two side points. So at the moment, if they were to score right now, it would be an even score.
And they're on close the pocket?
Yes. And since the Republic is behind, that's puts kind of Republic on the back foot. The more turns that they spend down, the harder it is to come back.
Yeah. Close the pocket. You got to get to the middle. You cannot stop walking forward. It is so important to get something onto that middle point, even if it's just a contest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Republic has the center point at the moment, and it's the side points that they're really struggling with. Maul was able to pretty much claim the right side of the board before going down finally to an arc charge.
Oh, he did go down? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, he cleaned up Bad Batch, which is a good trade
Wow,
up.
that's a great trade, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want to be doing with Maul.
Uh-huh.
Send him in, trade up like that.
Yeah. And then we got Geonosians firing down at some clone troopers. Just trying to not a great
Not
roll,
great.
particularly. Yeah.
Looks better than it is. Those Geos
They
do not
don't surge, so-
Yeah, that sucks, man. That is the Geo's greatest strength, right? They just throw a whole bunch of dice.
And there's the block. So.
The,
it's gonna
the
be just
Republic
as
Classic. Just going to roll blocks like it's nothing.
Yep.
Any Jedi on the board for these randomers today?
Kenobi is out there.
Kenobi is on the board, but he's just going to be
Uh-huh.
hunkered down doing his thing somewhere, I'm sure. Man, doubles is so cool. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
Getting 1,200 points of minis on the board.
Right.
Right? It just looks cool.
I think they called, the Republic called their list the Anakin Rescue Squad because they rolled all of the heroes except Anakin.
Yeah, which is, if you've watched the Clone Wars, you know that
Uh-huh.
this happens pretty much every other episode.
Yeah.
Anakin gets himself into trouble, and
Needs to
the
be rescued.
entire military might of the Republic needs to be mobilized to go save him. So
Uh-huh.
that's about what we're seeing here, I think. We actually have another very thematic clones versus droids matchup for our second, or one of our additional doubles matches today. So it's really fun to see the thematic matches, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're getting a little bit of action on that side POI. Geo's coming in to try to contest.
Yeah.
Moving into melee, it looks like a
Well,
shoot and then double move.
the
into
power
engagement.
of that free jump is just so great because
Oh
it's
my gosh.
it's almost like steady where you can just move, shoot, and then move again.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it.
Mhm.
It is an amazing keyword. Absolutely amazing. Free
That's
jump keyword.
just a lot of surges and not a lot of hits.
Did the Republic bring any vehicles in this? Did they
No,
roll
we're
any?
not. We're not looking at any. So Aqua Squad is sitting there in the center. Other than that, no vehicles.
Okay. Very interesting. Full infantry setup. Very sad little cover save there, looks like.
The reflections make it a little tough to see exactly what that light dice rolls, but I think it was. I think it wasn't terrible. Yeah, I think that was a clone punch. that we
Okay,
saw
okay.
After the Geo, or it could have been a clone shot. I don't know. It's hard to. I guess since they're not moving in, it was a clone shot, not a clone punch.
This board, which is fantastic and being raffled by
Yeah.
Myron, by the way, has so many little hiding spots. You know, even though that center POI is up on that scaffolding there's a lot of space underneath that minis are going to be able to pile in there, and it's just going to be an absolute brawl to try to get that POI under control.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the Republic specialty. Just throw a bunch of arcs on a point, and what are you going to do about it?
Yep.
It's very hard to deal with. So Cody's pivoting off of Rebels yesterday onto droids, and Corey, who traditionally is a Republic player, actually pivoted to droids yesterday as well. So,
But they're both playing Republic right now.
Oh, is Corey? Oh, I had the teams mixed. I thought.
Yeah.
So Thomas is actually playing
Yeah.
droids today. That is a twist as well.
Thomas and Isaac are on the droids and
Awesome.
Geonosians.
Okay.
Well, Thomas is more on the Geonosians. Isaac
Yeah.
brought the droids.
Awesome. So Corey's back in his wheelhouse playing his bread and butter, and Cody's a bit of a merc as well. He plays pretty
Yeah.
much everything, so I know he's got more than enough reps with Bad Batch. He cleaned me
Yeah.
up with I got cooked 3 weeks ago by Cody's Bad Batch, man. That 3-pip is something else, I tell you what. Looks like we got a clone save coming in here. Corey spinning a surge to make that 2 out of 3. And yeah, looks like the Republic definitely have designs on this left flank here.
Mm-hmm.
Corey moving
And they need
up.
to. They need to press.
It looks like he's going to be in contest range there, but that is quite a risk to be taking, moving up on a POI. Oh, nice. The angle. Okay, so this is actually Cody's force advancing here. This player's talking out a little bit of terrain and intent with their models here, as you always should. Yeah, yep, Myron, I think you're right. I think that left POI just got tied up, which is going to be a big swing. The
And
droids are going to need to do something about that.
decent clone attack happening here. Probably
That's
into
what they wanna
those
see.
Geonosians. And if they can clean them up, then they could take
That's
that
big.
left.
That is huge. They can start advancing on that flank all the way across the board here.
Yep.
And I found that's really what close the pocket gets decided by, because obviously both players will tend to focus on the center, but it's whoever can consolidate their support from the flanks on whichever POI they manage to secure tends to do really well in the middle. So
Yeah.
if the Republic can consolidate here behind this big building and get a good cover position and get enough troops to advance out at the same time, they can just completely flood the middle with bodies.
They are doing a good job of doing a lot of cleanup this round.
Ooh, this is...
That's a good looking save.
That is a good looking save. That's what you want.
So that's probably, I guess, if those are red dice onto those BXs there's a squad of BXs in there. So
Okay.
I guess,
I love that.
so that's what they're attacking.
I think the BX Vibroblade is a little bit underrated right now, given how aggressive so many of the Lead 2.6 Legion games are starting out these days. I think Scout 3 on a red save melee body, right? That's a fantastic piece to be able to pressure the midboard with early. So I think we're going to start seeing more BX around here.
Yeah, and it does look like that left side they just marked as blue, so that's gone to the Republic control.
Well done to Cody and Corey. It takes a lot of discipline to play the slower, and I say slower, I would say Imperial and Republic playstyles right now tend to gravitate towards heavy gun lines, and you have to be pretty disciplined when you advance towards objectives. It can be hard to sit the first 2 rounds of the game and watch your opponent score and feel like you're not doing enough, and then once you can bring your firepower to bear in the right positions, you can really start swinging the game, which is what I think the droid players are starting to feel here.
Yeah. Well, that was always my favorite strategy back with like intercept transmissions in Old Legion. Was just let them score the first couple rounds and just kill them all, and then you swoop in.
Yeah,
but I'm finding that Rebels kind of have to be more aggressive in the early rounds these days.
Yes, absolutely. I think Rebels are about scoring often and scoring early and letting those spikes in the dice really carry your momentum, right? If you get a great roll somewhere and you sneak a few saves through where your opponent didn't expect them to be, you can apply a lot of pressure really quickly and get overrun. And I think a lot of the Rebel players that are being successful are utilizing that kind of tactic. So, Sleeper Cell and Bad Batch being at the tip of that spear. So,
by Rebel players being successful, not me so much, Lamb.
Xander, you got to get back out here, man. You've been setting up too many streams, man. We got to get you back on the table. This is a fantastic stream, though. I tell you what, we're living the good life here. Get our top-down angle as Thomas finangles some
B2s. Looks
like
some B2s moving up,
which is absolutely the last thing you ever want to see advancing on you. They are terrifying.
Or was that? It looked like they might have been engaged with the clone trooper, so it might just be a withdraw and then a climb up to.
A withdraw to contest.
And withdraw and climb up to contest.
Of course, you can no longer attack or move back into melee once you withdraw, but you can take a second action afterwards these days.
What I think happened, but we'll see.
Just getting the final positions of these models set here. Looks like Thomas is doing a withdraw and then a move with this B2 squad to consolidate onto the middle here. Oh, this is clever. I think what Thomas is doing is trying to position these B2 miniatures so that they're simultaneously in melee and preventing more clones from climbing up on the scaffold on that side of the objective, which could be big.
They can't be in melee if they withdrew.
That's correct.
If they withdrew, they can't be in melee, but they could be, a millimeter away.
That's correct. Yep, they might just be, doing the "you can't touch me" thing, keeping these clones at arm length, stiff arm, keeping them off the objective here. But it looks like we have a little bit of body blocking here, which is very tactical.
when you can win without rolling dice, you do it.
That's how you do it, exactly.
Yep.
And speaking of body blocking, looks like there's a squad of aquas lurking under the scaffolding there.
Yeah, there is.
And if space opens up there for those things, they are just gonna. Oh, they cannot climb, I suppose. Aqua droids can't climb. They're vehicles, and they are not climbing vehicles. How bizarre! Aqua droids can't climb. Do they have climbing vehicle?
No, but I think climbing vehicle is it's like scaled vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't think the Aquas can get up on that scaffold. I was saying if the Aquas could get up there and body block, I think that could be pretty great to keep clones off that top objective there.
I'm going to have to take a quick margarita in, margarita out break.
Yeah, no worries. I'm going to hold it down here for us while Xander acquits himself. Well, the lonely save comes up with a blank there after that crit comes through. You gotta love the coin flip of the red save. It looks like Isaac's activating here on the flank. He might be cooking up something spooky here. Okay, it looks like they're trying to range out their center POI. Figure out exactly where they need to be to start contesting that. Let's sneak into the clone stronghold here. When Republic players don't bring any vehicles, they don't spend the points on the ATRTs, the saber tanks. The amount of clones they can bring to bear and just dominate and assert control in a single area of the board is just so intimidating. And it's very difficult to discipline yourself to walk into a formation like that, but that's what Close the Pocket necessitates, and that's what clones want to see. Here comes Isaac's shot. A little lackluster. Looks like we got a crit. Those Aquas, if this was a squad of Aquas, they do surge. But I suspect this might have been a Rad Cannon B1. Yeah, look at that. So here we go. We get one wound through there, which also necessitates a poison token, which is just value. That is what you want to see. Not sure if that was a Rad Cannon, but it seems like that was the pool, if those were B1s moving and shooting. And this being the Chaos bracket, you're never more likely to see a Rad Cannon than you are today. I can't quite see what Isaac is moving there, but it's using a speed 3 tool. So he might have Sun Fac hanging out under there, or a lone Geonosian or something like that. I'm not sure the droids have anything else that can move that quickly, off of deployment anyway. Or not off of deployment, I should say. And yeah, we're just seeing a somewhat careful but methodical advance from the droids on the center POI here. Now that they've kind of wrapped up the right POI here, and as most Close the Pocket games tend to do, it kind of polarizes into my side, your side, and then there's a clash in the middle. Are there rad cannons? Xander's back, by the way, guys. Are there rad cannons in the droid list today?
Well, so the BXs, there's a Dioxis BX.
Oh, okay.
Haven't seen any rad cannons.
Maybe that's what I saw here. Yeah, we saw an attack go off, and I'm fairly confident we saw a poison token get distributed.
Yeah, so
after.
There's the Dioxis from the.
Very cool.
Yeah, and so it looks like they're marking the center point back as in Separatist control.
Yep. Isaac, I think he just snuck another activation in under the landing pad on the right, and I think they've managed to flip the middle again.
And it looks like they are. They're cleaning up in round 3?
That's the round 3. So.
Yeah.
Moving past the midpoint in the game here, I think that roll was probably for.
That was for the.
Yeah, I was gonna say
dangerous.
The conditions.
Looked like a blank, so it's back to into the clouds, which just gives more extra cover.
Which is a fantastic and very thematic condition choice for this board. This is awesome.
So it looks like Separatists are going to score 3 to the Republic's 1. I'll go double check that score with them.
Oh, definitely. And we're starting to see some command cards come out. And of course, if you're not familiar with the doubles format, both players play a command card, and then the pips are added together, and then that sum is used to compare against the other players to determine who has priority. So it can get really crazy. All right, we're getting a flip here. It looks like, I can't quite see it here, but it looks like Thomas has played Poggle's 1 pip, or that might be Sunfax 1 pip, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm not super familiar with the card art for the Geonosis Commanders, unfortunately. And that is indeed Sunfax, so that is exciting. Wow. I think Sunfax actually a little bit underrated. He can do some interesting things. He doesn't have a lot of firepower, but he's pretty cool. There's Sunfax on the table. That's amazing.
Uh-huh.
And I tried to get the command cards to see what we had going there, but I'm not quite sure.
It looks like there was some scoring of the side objectives that it's hard to see exactly
What
where.
is our secondary today?
So the secondary is marked objectives,
Okay.
marked targets,
Marked targets.
which,
Which it tends to score. It's not a super high scoring
Right.
secondary, but it tends to be relevant in almost every game you play it, because it turns out you need things to die in order to win the game.
Uh-huh. Oh,
We're, of course, moving into turn 4 here.
and it does look like the Separatists have the initiative this round. They played double 1 pips.
I was going to say, I did see
according-
Sunfax 1 pip, and then...
Yeah. So it was double 1 pips versus double 2 pips. I didn't quite get a look at
Okay.
exactly
all right,
which ones
no
they were.
worries. We'll be able to surmise here shortly, I'm sure. Sunfax 1 pip is pretty nasty, giving out some free moves to nearby Geonosis squads, which can be pretty fantastic. And we're getting a look at the trophies for this year's RMO, which is pretty fantastic. Yeah, these look pretty great.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
try to
show
get
those
these
off.
on stream. They are nice looking. Thank you, FLG. We'll get those trophies on stream here. The first round of the Champion Swiss is going to be wrapping up here shortly. We have Chris versus Tony and Zach versus Dustin. So as soon as those wrap up, we'll get an update out to you guys as well.
We're just here, so we're looking at 15 minutes left. So it sort of depends on how quickly they're able to get through this round as to whether they'll see round 5 or not.
Yes, and the droids starting this turn with 15 minutes remaining, in control of the center POI, puts them in a very strong position. The clones are going to be forced to make some aggressive maneuvers here and really pile on the damage to these droids.
Yep. Depending on how it goes, they could, if this does end up being the last round, then that pretty much, that just about seals it for the Separatists, because they could just pull back and,
Just hope they win on primary and keep the clones from scoring their secondary to keep this, to stretch this large lead they just acquired after flipping that middle POI very late into turn 3. So big shift there in the momentum. And with Sunfax 1 pip, that Geonosis mobility is just going to be turned up to 11. So if it turns into a bodies game on that middle POI, I don't think the droids are going to have a hard time winning that. These clones really need to start picking up models, but moving and shooting is worse than aiming and shooting when it comes to killing things, which is what they're going to need to be doing here.
looks like we're starting with some picking up more clone troopers than they'd like to see.
That's never what you want. If you're picking up more than one, that is more than you want to see dying. Yep.
Actually, that might have been the whole unit. That there's looked like they're picking up enough token that might have just finished off a unit.
That was a lot of damage.
And it looked like they picked up enough other tokens that.
Reaching that point in the game here, turn 4, where there's no more time for caution. You gotta bite the bullet and assume that risk if you want to take the win. And that's something that's definitely more prevalent in 2.6. You know, the feeling of there's no point in losing harder, right? So if you're down, you send everything.
Right.
You just go in and make your opponent try to deal with it. And clones can get outbodied. Their biggest liability is their need to clump up and their inability to play a wide table with a wide tactic. So strong control of the middle only goes so far. Big geo shot coming in here. Doesn't look good though. Black dice not coming through. An aim token to shore it up. One more conversion. Not bad. Looks like they have a surge to spend here.
That wasn't a geo. That was from the Separatists. That was from the Republic side.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that was shot into.
Looks like cover
looked
pulls
like cover,
one there.
cover shot.
Yep. Sorry, guys. You're getting me twisted here.
Yep.
And one save comes through. So let's see what they're picking up here. Okay.
Picking up B1s.
A Z6 shot into B1s who are contesting on the objective there. That is what you want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to shoot something off an objective and there's a B1 on it, that's it. That's what you want to shoot.
Yeah. Because those aquas sitting there, they're going to be pretty hard to dislodge.
Oh,
but
you know,
the B1s.
if they haven't picked up 2 models by now, right, you can't get rid of them.
Because they start with 3 and they got 3 health apiece.
Just monstrously beefy unit.
And the armor too.
Yes, and the arithmetic on the white dice, you know, you expect it to not save, but when they do, it ruins your day. Chances are good you're shooting at it with your AT, your anti-tank, or your impact, and then if that doesn't land, you kind of go, well, I guess I don't have anything else to shoot that with. All right, we have a commander activation from the clones here. This could be decisive.
So yeah, I'm not quite sure what this is. This is from the Separatist side, moving up and attacking.
4 red dice.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that attack.
That might have been a BX charge, maybe with the. Oh no, I guess those are white dice too. I'm not sure.
I'll go check.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can slide over there and get a clarity update. But yeah, this is devolving into POI soup here. We're getting a little bit of everything on that middle point as the timer winds down to just about 10 minutes here. So I think both of our players are going to be, or both of our teams are going to be aware of the time constraints and play accordingly.
So I got the rundown.
Xander's back with an update.
Yeah, so Sunfac, very interesting. Sunfac tried to kill Rex. Obi-Wan guardianed Rex and died.
Okay. Oh
and
my
then
God.
Kalani charged into Rex and finished him off.
That was melee. Oh
yeah,
my, that was a Kraken melee.
Kraken.
It's Kraken. Yeah,
Kraken,
he's the boxer. Yeah. That's
that was
cool,
a Kraken
man.
melee moving in.
That's crazy. Oh, Chaos is so good, guys. Oh, that's awesome. Obi Rex. Wow, that is a cool.
Yeah, so
cool
that was
list.
a pretty ruthless double punch there.
Big swing there. Dropping Rex or dropping Obi on the last scoring turn is not what the Republic want right now, for sure. He's a fantastic control piece. I'm not sure if he's equipped with Force Push, but the reduction in scoring range on a POI means that Force Push can guarantee you get a unit off the POI these days. So enormous utility from Jedi. Okay. Pretty average looking red save there.
On to the BXs,
Looks like BXs are getting picked up here.
Pulling up some BXs.
If they haven't activated yet, that's fantastic pressure. That's exactly what you want to do.
That and that looks like that was the double stuffed clone with 5s on it. That'll give them pierce.
Awesome.
So we see 3 blocks, but they still take 3 wounds.
Oh, so Impervious. That's right. Impervious would proc there as well. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, our players getting contemplative here as we move towards the end.
I'm gonna assume this is probably the last round.
Yep,
I don't think
yeah,
they're
I was
gonna.
gonna say I think our players are
I don't
gonna
think
be
they're
able
gonna.
to play accordingly here. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it through the rest of this round in the 8 minutes they got left.
Yep. I think everybody, all of our players know that this is it. It looks like it's currently 4-2 on the center POI in favor of the droids. Corey
Yeah.
does have a squad of clones securing the left side, which might be able to offer some supporting fire to this engagement, but of course they cannot abandon that POI, lest they risk not scoring.
Yeah, and Republic lost Rex and Obi-Wan Kenobi in
Yes,
quick succession.
That's an enormous
So
swing.
that's a pretty dominant swing for the center there.
Chances are good that Obi hadn't activated either, so that is an enormous loss. But with the lead that the droid players are enjoying right now, it's going to be a tall order for the clones to score both their natural objective, the center, and score secondary.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible. This is 2.6, people. This is where miracles happen.
Spend a surge to keep it down to 1 block, and it looks like those arcs just holding on there. Looks like arcs are holding on. Where's that BX is
That
defending?
is what they desperately need, and it actually looks like those arcs are currently engaged, which is not what they want to be doing, considering that they're not on the POI. I'm going to go ahead and assume that those arcs will need to withdraw, and then they may as well move again onto that center POI to help try and secure that. Although, it looks like there's only a single squad. Oh, no, they weren't engaged. So here goes Corey. Moving them now.
So that looks like the double stuffed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Double move to contest that center.
Very nice. A big move, and it looks like he's just going to go ahead and engage those
And engage
activated
those-
B1s. Yep.
Yeah. Give him some nice cover from shots.
Yep, that's a Legion fundamental right there. An activated unit on the objective means you can be there safe too.
Yeah.
Just got to go touch them.
So it looks like that one, if I'm reading this right, it looks like one surviving arc is engaged with those 2 BX droids,
Yep.
and then it was that strong squad with Echo that ran away.
And here we
Or
go.
fives.
And here comes the clone shot.
Because fives gives them charge and
Yep.
nastiness.
And it looks like Corey has opted for the DP-23 as well, which will put Pierce 1 on the pool.
Yes.
Which is just going to be monstrous. Here we go. These droids are in trouble.
And I think the droids are gonna
Yep,
just.
that is
That's
what you wanna
probably the
see.
rest of the droids.
Man, fives is cool. Yep, looks like Thomas is fishing out the rest of those droids from under there as they were stuffed in there trying to score. Corey's got to be happy with that. That's a good swing. Get onto the objective. Take one off the objective. That's heads up Legion right there.
So they are counting up how many, and looks like that right there has swapped control of the center to the counter up, and
There we
looks
go.
like
Cody
it's
doing the honors there.
back to neutral on the center. I'm loving this these color tokens that they've got going on there.
As a Battlefront enjoyer, right, nothing makes me feel like I'm securing a command post more than seeing that little holographic thing, so I love it. But yeah, as far as streaming goes, which is not something we've done, right? By the way, guys, this is the first ever 5280 stream. Huge shout out to Xander for getting this set up. Did all the legwork. If you guys are enjoying it, make sure you follow. We're going to have more content. Big shot coming in here. Looks pretty good.
He did spend the surge to make all of that paint a hit, it looks like.
That's horrifying. That must have been a B2 melee, I think, huh?
Yeah, the B2s are up there.
Yeah, and they roll 2 black in melee, which is very strong. Oh,
And that is not
who's up there?
Well, it depends. Do they have a
I
surge
think
token
I see
available?
4 minis up there. So if they just took 3, if Cody and Corey just took 3 wounds on that squad, we'll see how many minis are getting picked up here. This 1, 2.
It looks like 2 in a surge token.
Oh
so
my gosh! So they're alive.
yeah,
That's
I think
huge.
they're doing all right.
That is enormous. Surviving the B2.
Nope.
Be safe.
Wrong button.
Yeah. Okay. That does remove a few models. It looks like there's some space opening up on that POI. Somebody wants to sneak in and try to score.
But we are getting close to the end of the round here,
Yeah, we're gonna hit
which is
the 2-minute warning
yeah,
here, which means
which
we're
is
gonna
not what you want to see for the Republic players who
No.
are relying on that kill a lot and then score later in the late
And
rounds.
you know, in my last game yesterday, actually, it didn't go to time, but Tony actually played a really tight game, and he managed to get 12 points by the end of turn 4. I misplayed my secondary really bad, and he went super wide on Recover the Research, which was a great play. And, you know, Legion games can end on turn 4 these days. You know, you can lose on turn 4 if you're not assertive and proactive on the board. So, not that I'm saying our Republic players did that today, but there's never been more of attacks to standing back and shooting on turns 1 and 2 than there is in 2.6, which is what clones want to be doing most of the time. Oof. We're seeing 4 blanks there. It's probably enough.
Looks like we're picking up a lot of BX
Yeah, I was
droids
gonna
there.
say, I think these arcs did a great charge into some BX there. Picked up a lot of minis.
Yep, which pretty much, you know, I think they've cleared out. I don't see any more separatist units over there.
Yep.
So they've secured
That's
that
a
left,
good-
but that's
That's
not going to be
That's what I
enough.
was going to say. It's a good activation to make when there's only about 60 seconds left in the match, but unfortunately, like you said, it's not going to be enough. I think the bodies game of the Separatist players is just going to be too overwhelming here at the end.
Because at this point, even if Republic manages to secure that center, they're not going to make up the point difference.
They'll be down, and I think Thomas and Isaac just played a really sharp turns 1 and 2 here to put themselves in a strong position for a big swing on turn 3, and that can be game. And of course, these games do tend to take a little bit longer just because we have 2 players and an additional 200 points on the table, but we try to make sure we play full games of Legion here.
Over on the Grand Championship side, it looks like we were. 1 second. Manila. I'm about to run out.
Bravo players, that is the end of regulation. Do not start a new round. You have 15 minutes to finish the round you are on.
So there we go, guys. That's Noah, our official TO for doubles, calling time, which means that our players will not be starting around 5. These players will be activating the remainder of their units that have not activated for turn 4, and then they will score the game.
Yep. So I think with that, if I'm reading, because I believe they have both scored both possible points from their secondaries.
Yep.
So I feel like at this point
There's not enough movement of the needle that the Republic can do to really make it happen. I think the only way they can take this to points is if they wrest the right POI from the control of the droids.
And that's
without 2 units with an extreme mobility, they're not going to be able to do it.
Right. So I think the best Republic can hope for is a 3-1 scoring, which puts them at 7-9, which is
a respectable score. That's a close game of Legion. We like that.
But even so, it's going to be tough for them to actually secure that center.
Here we go. We're getting an Aqua activation from the droid players who look like they're just going to be lumbering forward, occupy more space on that POI, and continue to cause problems for our poor Republic players here. Thomas taking full advantage of the shape of that scaffolding there to really pile as many units as he possibly can within 1/2 range of that POI, just to really put the nail in the coffin for our droids here, or for our Republic players.
We have seen several rounds some good positioning, good body blocking from the Separatists on that center point to say you might have more units, but they just can't find a spot to get in.
Yeah, you know, I don't have a lot of experience with other systems, but I know body blocking is particularly prevalent in games like Age of Sigmar, can be in Warhammer, and so I'm happy to see some of those things come to Legion. We had to lose displacement, right? We had displacement had to die so that 2.6 could run, but I think body blocking and using models like aquas and vehicles to make space and occupiable zones on POIs a resource that your opponent needs to compete for is a completely valid tactic, something I hope we see more often. Oh, wow, that's a very unfortunate offensive roll there. One hit that gets blocked, just disrespect.
Yeah.
The absolute disrespect. But I think our players here, now that they know that they're not going to be starting a new round, are mostly just doing the going through the ceremony of finalizing their remaining units' actions before they decide to count up these points. These few remaining models trading parting shots as the POIs start to settle. Most of the time, little chip shots like this at the end of the game tend not to have a huge effect on POIs, but it feels better to do something than nothing. So, as always, in 5280, we're fighting to the bitter end here. And Cody is going to go ahead and get one of his last infantry activations here. Now that those arcs have cleaned up those BX, we have an additional squad of clone infantry that's freed up to try and sprint for this POI.
That Aqua Droid is definitely doing its best to get in their way,
Thomas
but
with great positioning there, really trying to hinder.
I think it looks to me like they're going to get in.
I think Cody got it.
Yeah, they're calling it.
Look at that.
They're calling it in.
That's big. That's not nothing. Republic really doing their thing, flexing their late game muscles, and even with that, it looks like our players have done the math,
right?
And are.
So it looks like it's going to go to 9-7 by my count.
It does look right. I don't think Thomas and Isaac have any more activations that are going to be able to impact any of these POIs, so I think our players are going to go ahead and conclude their stream game there.
So red will be scoring one more point for that back side, and blue will be scoring 3 points for getting their left side and center.
Valiant dash for the center objective, but it looks like the droid players may have just been a tad more aggressive.
Yeah.
May have had a few more important rolls land, and just picked up that 2 point on the secondary, which is enough to tilt the scales here. What a fantastic table.
Yeah.
We're going to raffle this table off, guys. I know I said that before, but make sure you guys get a ticket if you're here. Pretty exciting matchup, though. Those are some cool and thematic lists that we like to see here, and that's part of what Doubles is all about. You play the stuff you never get to play, or you never want to play, because it makes you a better player.
Yeah, that is always fun.
Yep.
Always fun to see.
Of course, everybody's got their favorite stuff, so, you know, if I was playing today, which the spirit was willing but the flesh was weak, I would have rolled until I got one that didn't have Vader. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be chaos for me. If Vader's in it, that's not chaos. So, but I'm happy to be able to jump in on stream here.
Yeah, and happy to have you.
Woo! Honestly, dude, you held it down, man. This is a great setup. It's a lot of work to get everything pulled out here for the weekend, and now that we honestly, We're gonna get more stuff going here, guys. We'll stream some games. We'll try to make it happen.
And before we call, I'm going to wander around for briefly and just kind of take a look at some of the other
Yeah,
tables
go
that are
ahead,
still
guys.
playing.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop off here. Once another game starts up, we will of course be streaming that 2nd round of doubles.
Probably going to have
Enjoy.
a lunch break here.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do an hour lunch break, so you guys go ahead and enjoy Xander's content here. He's going to do a run-through of the tables and our championship games and give you an update here, and we'll see you guys in about an hour.
Yeah, so our championship games. Championship looks like they've still got about 7 minutes left in normal time. But if I just glance over, it does look like the games are still going over there. In a moment, I will run around and see what's up. So I'm looking over at the Chaos table at the moment, and it looks like they are filling out their bingo cards, the all-important bingo cards. Checking, seeing what they were able to do. So I will also double check with the organizers, see what the schedule's looking like, and let you guys know when we will be back for round two. Round two we will stream the RMO Championship Grand Finale. We had a lot of fun with our Chaos doubles, but we'll be moving back to our main event for round two today.